2023 is here. You're a year older, a year wiser, but are you any richer? Maybe you've been learning constantly throughout the year, picking up skill after skill, reading book after book, but the number in your bank account still makes you want to cry at night. Why? It's simple. You don't know how to structure an offer that delivers your services to the marketplace. Well, my friend, no worries. Instead of spending 20 hours on Google or typing endless questions into ChatGPT, you can watch the rest of this 20-minute video and learn exactly how to structure the perfect offer. You structure an offer like this and start selling. You would have to try to fail in order to not make any money in 2023. Now, you may be asking yourself, why in the world should I listen to you? If you don't know who I am, my name is Tanner Chittister, CEO and founder of a $50 million company called Elite CEOs. I've made millions upon millions at the age of 30, and I'm saying that not to brag, but so you believe me when I say I know what I'm talking about. Using what I talk about in this video, I've built a business that spits out more money than I could ever possibly spend. Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Come on, guys. So today, back in the eCam mode, gonna do a little bit of offer structure. So I'm super excited to talk about this today because I think I've talked about this almost 100 times, I feel like, but what I wanna do is not only show you how to structure your offer, so what niche, what to add to it, but also I want to show you how we actually structure our program, what we put in it, how we try to make sure clients get the best results, how we make sure clients get re-signs, and kind of everything in between. So hope you guys enjoy this training. I like doing it more when it's like split screen like this. So if you have questions, make sure to drop them in the comments after the train. I'm happy to come in, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So part of this is going to be obviously what I've done in my business. Part of this is what I've learned. Okay, so if you guys see something that you're like, oh, that looks familiar. Yeah, sometimes it is, because just like anyone, I'm always trying to learn to get better, but I want to show you some stuff that's worked for me. So the first thing that I would say you need to do is, if you're trying to build out an offer, is make sure that it's in the health, okay, wealth, or relationship niche, okay? 95% of the time, it's gonna be in one of these three categories. So if you look at my first 7-figure business, it was a fitness business, okay? If you look at my 8-figure business, it was, or excuse me, I put that in the wrong spot. You guys are probably laughing. It was a fitness business. So over here, fitness. My second one was wealth, right? So it was how to make money. And then ones that I've seen do really well that are outside the box is, it'll be dating, or, marriage counsel, stuff that is, super painful. And the reason these work is because there's a massive market for these types of things, right? And then there's niches inside these markets. The offers that I usually see do the worst have no relationship back to making more money, having more health, excuse me, I got this plugged in, it should be plugged in, having more wealth or having more health, right? And so that's why these offers don't do well. And so what you wanna make sure you do is that it's in one of these categories, and then you can niche down inside those categories, okay? So hopefully that's very simple to understand. And then I gotta just figure out, sorry guys, oh, slide, there we go. So that's the first thing, okay? Second thing is, if you guys didn't read the book yet, highly recommend you do. And if you don't wanna read the book, the best thing you can take out of the book, it was the book by a good friend of mine, Alex Hormozi, was the book $100 Million Offers, right? And I wish, moving forward, I promised myself if I ever write a book again, I'm going to write it as well as he did, because you could tell he spent a lot of time in it. And if you take his whole book and you just narrow it down to 4 things, there were essentially the determined outcome. Okay, so do people want what you're actually going to sell? If you look at that, this is really what that's talking about. Is it in the health, wealth, or relationship niche, or can you tie it back to that? So some of my better clients who do life coaching offers or mindset offers, they tie those results back to making more money, or having better health, or having better relationships, right? If you don't tie it back to that, why would people buy? Okay? So you have the determined outcome. Then over here, he has different words for it, but I just consider this risk, right? So they're wondering, how much risk is there gonna be? Okay? And so the more risk there is, the harder it is to sell. The less perceived risk, the less resistance there is to buy, okay? Down here, you have time, and then you have effort, okay? And he has different words for it, and he is, this probably isn't perfect, but this is how I see it, and it's an easy way for me to view it. So the first thing goes back to the last screen is it in one of these niches? That should be the easiest thing for you to overcome and the easiest one to figure out, okay? The next thing is the risk, right? So a lot of times, how can you decrease risk? It's either performance guarantees, conditional guarantees, money back guarantees. It could be you do the work for them. So these could go hand in hand with effort, right? If you're doing the work for them, there's less risk, right? Especially if you say, hey, I'm so good at this, I'll do it for you. And if it doesn't work, I'll give your money back. So that's how I see this. So in a done with you business, this may be some type of guarantee. In a done for you business, there's usually very little risk because you can put a guarantee on your performance, right? On your results. Then the next one is just time, right? So obviously getting clients results faster makes it so that less clients will default, clients are happier, they get more results, they buy more upsells. Everything about that is a good thing. So it's just looking at what can you do to get them a faster result. And then obviously effort's very self-explanatory. So ironically, I want to give you guys context. One of the offers I have, how many portfolio companies do I have? I have 3. I'm about to have probably 4 or 5. And I really feel that's the path for me at the moment, because there's only 2 ways to really become a billionaire. From what I've seen is either you invent something, right? You get into tech, or you get into private equity. And so, amassing different portfolio companies to me seems to be the most logical for my skill set at the moment in, creating a bigger fortune and just, getting closer to my goals and just pushing the limits. That's really just my goal for life. I think at this point, I don't care if I quote unquote become a billionaire, but that's what I want to strive for. And so as long as I do that, I feel like I'll be very happy, and that's what gives me fulfillment. So that one of the companies that I have here, it's so good. So it's actually ran by my brother Gentry, and it's Elite Closers. And what they do in that company is they basically hire and train sales reps and then place them with businesses. And the reason this business does so well is because he gives a guarantee to the sales reps that as long as they finish the training and they pass the test, like they have a little test to show their qualifications and skills, they'll get placed. And then the business owners, they have a 90-day guarantee that if the closer or setter does not perform, they get a new one. And so there's no risk. It's very little effort on their part. And so it's like, yeah, like it's going to help me make more money. It's very little risk. It's going to be fairly quickly. And then I don't have to do anything. And so it's absolutely destroying. And I think this month so far, we spent about $1,050, and we've made about 150K plus. And I say we've collected about 80K. Okay. So that's to give you context. This right here is ridiculous. It's about 80K return, 80X return, right? And so I've never had anything like that happen in any of my businesses. And I've been in business for 4 years. And so that goes to show, I'm seeing it live. That goes to show the structure of your offer is the most important thing. It's more important than the marketing. It's more important than the sales. It's more important than any of that. Okay. Now, there's pros and cons to every offer. So don't see this and be like, oh my gosh, like da-da-da-da-da. But it happens with every offer. Now, the next thing I want to go through is, okay, you have your offer. You know what you're going to sell. How do you package your program, or what type of support do you give? And what have I seen do the absolute best? Okay. So step 1 is you close, right? So they come right off the sales call. They close, they're ready to come in. Right after that, you do a onboarding call. Okay, so onboarding call is to set expectations. And in fact, before we do that, we'll do this. Send a personal video. So the CEO or the coach should send a personalized video. Hey, super glad you're coming in the program. Excited to see you. Can't wait. Da-da-da. Like, we started doing that, and we get such a good response, and people just love it because it's personal, right? Right after that, we send gift boxes. We just started this week, and I'm super pumped. So in our gift boxes, we give out books. We give out a little phone stand. We give out a pen. We give out a diary, and it looks super clean. Like, super clean. It says Elite CEOs on top of it, and we're going to be rolling that out to our other portfolio companies. So super excited to do that. Then we send a personal card. Okay, so a handwritten card. So I write a card, and then as the program goes along, their coaches write a card, okay? And so again, it's doing the exact same thing. So between all of that, right after they close, we send a personal video, we send gift boxes, we send a handwritten card, and then the coaches send a handwritten card. And then throughout the program, we do the same thing. So that's before they've even started, okay? So I would say pre-start, all right? Now they've started, okay? So what I've seen work very well in service-based industries and businesses, so if you're watching this, hopefully you have service-based industry, is then we give them a portal. Okay, so a portal, just think of it as A to Z. Sorry, I can't type. A to Z on what to do. Okay, so the goal here is to keep it as short as possible. You want a small portal. You do not want a big portal. So there was a time where I had like 100, we still have a lot of videos, but we had like 150, 200 videos in our portal. And I thought that was good, but what people want is they just want as little info as possible to hit their goal. So you doing a long or drawn out portal is not helpful. As little info as possible. Then what we do to help with cost and give a great service is we have daily office hours. Okay, so an office hour is like a Q&A section where they can get any help they want. So the coach hops on, like let's say it's 12 to 1. The clients get on, they can ask any questions they like, and we help with that. Okay. Number 3 after that is then we do group calls. And the group calls are usually what we call, expert calls, right? And so on the expert calls, what we do is we have, an ads call, we have a messaging call, we have a, lead generation call, we have a sales call, we have a mindset call. We do all these different calls with different experts, right? Like for example, mindset. I talk about mindset some, but like there's other people who just enjoy it much more than me. And so we let those people be the ones who talk about those calls with our clients. Okay. And I apologize for my bad handwriting, guys. Hopefully you can follow. After that, they also get a one-to-one coach. Okay. Now, what that looks like for us is they get unlimited messaging. Okay. So they get unlimited messaging and then Zoom calls as needed. The reason we say Zoom calls as needed is you don't want to put yourself in a position where they abuse it, right? So meaning, hey, like if they say I need help setting something up or they've tried and they can't do it, then yeah, of course, get on Zoom calls. But you don't want to get in a situation where you're having to call every day, because what ends up happening is 2 things. The client feels in some cases they're getting this great service, but then 2, they never do anything. And so by the end of the program or the next time their payment comes up, they haven't done anything because all their time is being spent with you on a Zoom call. And remember, being productive or feeling productive is not the same as getting results, right? The goal for the client should be to ask as little questions as possible and get as little help as possible to move the needle. It shouldn't be get as much help as possible to not move the needle. That does nothing. And so we try to set up in a way where we give maximum support, but we put as much responsibility on the client as we can so the client learns how to do it. So the client knows that work's involved so that if they ever stop working with us or go off on their own, they're in a better spot. Right? It's like, it would be basically being a crutch if you just get on a call every day for no reason. So we do unlimited DMs and then calls as needed, right? After that, we have weekly check-ins, okay? And that will typically be, it could be a Jot form, it could be a Wufoo app, and it's just basically, we color code their answers. So it's like, how much revenue have you produced? What are you struggling with? What's going well? Do you need help? Etc. And we color code those answers to know which clients to reach out to and how severe the situation is. We love it, and it helps us really stay on top of clients, and clients kind of feel the love that way. After that, we also have mandatory calls. So we'll have mandatory calls throughout the program. And so you'll want to have like, week 2, week 4, week 6, week 8, you want to have calls that they must show up for so that you can touch base, because a lot of times, context on a phone call or a Zoom call is going to be much better or different than you're going to get, in person, or not in person, over text, right? So, texting someone like this is never going to be the same as if, you're on a Zoom call and you can get more context. And so we make sure we do those as well. And so I'll respell that: mandatory. Okay. So that's what we have in the program just to start. So to reiterate, to come back up here, after the close, we send a personal video, gift boxes, personal card written by me and the coaches. So right off the bat, we flood them with love, let them reinforce the decision they made a good one, and let them know we care about them. Some of these are new. So if you're a client watching this, we just started this one. Okay. And we just started this one a few months ago, right? And it's made a huge difference, and we're really excited about it. Next thing is a portal, small as possible, right? So if you do an overall program where it's a lot of business coaching and different methodologies, you can do that, but just make it as small as you can. Then we have daily office hours, group calls with experts, a dedicated one-to-one coach, weekly check-ins that they're supposed to fill out, and then mandatory calls, okay? And you can also set up reminders that if they don't do a check-in in so long or anything like that, that you get a reminder to reach out to them, okay? Once you do that, you have ongoing, okay? So now that they're ready to go, you have ongoing support. Okay, so what we'll do at that point is once they finish the program, or we'll send a card, let's say this, we'll send a card week 1, 3, 5, I think it's 7. Our program is 16 weeks. We'll do like 10, I think it's then 13, and then like 15, something like that. Ongoing after will be every 2 months. Okay, and again, these are personal cards. Like the coaches write them. It's better if they're personal. You can do automation, but it just comes off way more genuine when it's personal. Okay. So you have that. You also will have, X amount of reach outs. So the coach will reach out, X amount of times, because guys, like the biggest thing is getting results. But after that, it's just like people want to know you care. Okay. We also will have group events. Okay. So we have group events. So that's super, super important. We love doing those. It builds a lot of camaraderie. People can show up. You can give awards, etc. That's the other thing we do. We do awards. So we do awards for 10K, 50K, 100K, and then 1 million. And our clients love them. It makes them feel appreciated. It's like a cool goal for them to go for. It also like works great in advertising. You've seen Russell Brunson do this with ClickFunnels. If you guys look back here, like you guys see all those awards, that is literally from ClickFunnels. Like I know what he's doing. I still love it, right? Like we love recognition. We love being rewarded. Clients love this as well. So from start to finish, if you can pick something in the wealth, health, and relationship niche, okay, you then figure out these 4 components. And I would say the biggest ones I've seen help is time and effort, right? Like, so the least amount of effort they have to do and the faster they get to the result, people will pay premium price. Like, and I'm starting to see that in my portfolio companies. One of them is a day trader company. So they're like, hey, we'll show you how to day trade and we can get you results really fast, right? And then it's very relative low risk on top of that because it's like they're going to day trade either way, okay? Once you get that part down, then you start working on making sure you have a great client experience. And this is like when I say how to structure the offer, it's everything in between. So sending a personal video, gift boxes, and personal cards right after the close. Once they're in the program, making sure you have a really good portal, but as small as possible. People want it lean. They don't want a lot of videos. Daily office hours, group calls, one-on-one coach. And guys, if as you're smaller, you can expand into this. You don't have to do it day one, okay? Also making sure you have mandatory calls and weekly check-ins so that you can keep on top of the clients. When you start getting, 50, 75, 100 clients a month, you can't keep track if you're just trying to like, oh, I'll reach out to everyone and I'll just you got to have a system, okay? You need to have a system. And then ongoing support is we send cards these weeks, then more cards every 2 months if they re-sign. So if they sign in for a long year program or 2 years. And then after that, we'll make sure they have X amount of reach outs, group events, and then we also send them awards. And you do all those things, it keeps people interested in your program. It keeps people around longer. The only other things you can do besides that is have some type of cross sells, down sells, or upsells. Okay, so for example, if you guys were to look at elite CEOs, let's say CEOs, we have a cross sell, which would be elite closers, right? So we place setters. We have a downsell, which would be group support only. Okay, so that'd be a downsell. We also have upsell. So upsell would be our next level program, which is more about team building, things of that nature. We also, for another cross sell, right? We have multiple cross sells. We have done for you ads, right? So we'll run their ads for them. So, you can kind of see all the things that go together as the business matures and gets bigger and you're trying to reach the next levels. And I definitely have not done everything perfect. But it's been fun, and it's fun to consistently try to make your business better, help people. And as you do these things, like what's cool is the results are better. And so not only are you having more fun because you're making more money, but people are happier, they have a better experience, your team's having fun, and overall you're in a better mood. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Sorry it was such a long video, but there was a lot to cover. If you have questions, make sure to just drop that down below in the comment section. Happy to answer it. Appreciate you so much for taking time out of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. I hope that lesson is as valuable to you as it was for me. Now you may ask, what do I do now? Now that you're ready to go with an irresistible offer, my answer is I would watch this next video right here where I reveal the best way to make $10,000 per month in 2023. Not only has this info led me to 10K per month, it helped me make 1.5 million a month. So if it works for me, it'll definitely work for you too. I'll see you there.